Now, the sole thesis of speedruns is to beat video games as fast as possible, right? I don't think I'm surprising anybody by saying that. Now, oftentimes in video games, there tends to be one final hurdle that makes speedrunners' lives just a little bit harder. And that, of course, is final bosses. Now, final bosses come in all shapes and varieties, from Bowser throws to a whole fight sequence with Ganondorf escaping the castle, yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. In Ratchet and Clank 1, however, we have found a way to streamline the final boss so efficiently that, as a matter of fact, in some versions of this game, we don't have to play through the final boss fight at all. And I'm going to teach you how that works today. So I'm going to boot up my copy of Ratchet and Clank 1 here. Now, of course, here I am sitting on the final boss of Ratchet 1. And, of course, I do also want to say before I begin that I do apologize in advance. I got a little bit of the sniffles. I don't know if you can tell or not. But if you hear me making some, noises from time to time due to my congestion, please don't mind it. I swear to God I don't have the Rona, or at least I don't think I do. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so coming up to this final boss fight, first I'm going to teach you how to beat this boss fight in under 30 seconds. Now, as you can see, I'm already on the final phase of Drek. That's why I'm here on this big arena. You can see the timer's not even started. Don't worry about why that's not an issue right now. But I'm only going to use one weapon to do this. Now, I think a lot of you already know this trick, but I'm going to explain why this works as well. So, I'm only going to be using the gold pyrocitor. And the reason I'm using the gold pyrocitor is because I'm using a European copy of Ratchet 1. Now, how does that make any sense? So, the original versions of Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 2 were in 60 Hz if you had an American or Japanese copy of the game. And it worked in 50 Hz if you have an Australian or a European copy of the game. Now, these are called PAL and NTSC. Now, I'm sure I don't have to explain version differences to most of you, but I do want to explain some ramifications about these version differences. So, when they upscaled these games from PS2 to PS3 as they were making the HD remake, they only had to, or they could leave the 60 Hz NTSC copies, so the American and Japanese copies, totally the same, 60 Hz on PS2, 60 Hz on PS3. However, when they were upscaling the European and Australian copies, the PAL versions of the game, they had to go from 50 Hz to 60 Hz. And for whatever reason, I'm not even 100% sure why. I'm not sure if the devs know why. Who knows? When they upscaled this game from 50 Hz to 60 Hz, the pyrocitor, if you shove the pyrocitor inside the model of an enemy and you fire the pyrocitor, it will damage the enemy on every single frame. So normally, the gold pyrocitor doesn't even do that much damage. But you're going to see here, as I'm coming up to Drek, now he's going to give me a little bit of a loop. And I'm going to do my best here to try to catch him as he's going around the arena. I'm going to avoid these. Ideally hope that he fires out a bomb because he stays in place when he fires bombs. But I don't even need him to do that. As long as I get close enough. You're going to see, as I go inside of his model, his health bar completely melts. Look at that. This is the final boss of the game, and he's being shredded in less than a second. Now, he's going to go outside the arena here, which is a bit unlucky, but that's fine here. I'm just going to press this here button. Never mind. I guess I'm not going to press this here button. I'm just going to wait it out and then do this. That's fine. I can ride at 1 health. I'm not scared. Oh no, my health. Alright, we're going to go over here now. And look at that. Not so clean, but that's a very fast boss fight. And as a matter of fact, that is significantly faster than the damage you can put out using either the Tesla Claw or the Ryno. The two highest DPS weapons in the entire game for bosses at the very least. This just totally wipes the floor with all of them. Now, this video, I introduced this to you under the assumption that I'd be teaching you how to skip this boss entirely. And that's still remaining true. I just wanted to show you how to do this as fast as possible. Now, this strat, as I said before, it only works on a PS3 version of a PAL copy of the game. So the way that I did this, when I was making my PlayStation Network account as I downloaded this game, I made the central home base of my profile in the UK, since they speak English there, and I could read through all the menus as I was downloading this game. Cost about $10, I think, but if you were planning on buying a copy of this game anyway, it'd probably be in your better interest to buy a PAL copy so that if you want to replicate this, you totally can. Now, in order to skip this boss, straight up, you're going to have to first beat this boss normally. I know that's, you know, maybe not the most logical thing in the entire world, but let's just say your friend doesn't know about this and you want to impress somebody. So you open up your PS3 beforehand, before they get to your house, before you can show them this. You beat this boss, and then you leave it right here. You leave it with the deplanetizer up, pointing at New Orxon, whatever this is called. You do not press this button at all. You're supposed to ground pound on this button. Do not press on the ground pound, or do not press the ground pound sequence. Do not press the button. Instead, you can load up any file you want now. So I only have one file here. I'm going to reload it. This trick will only work as long as you're keeping your PS3 on. So make sure that once you set this up, you do not turn off your PS3 until you're ready to do the trick. Now this trick was discovered by the Rixer, a legendary Ratchet and Clank runner. It was discovered completely on accident, actually. So to continue on here, the next step of doing this trick, I need to teach you a little something. I need to teach you a little bit of technical know-how. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but if with just the PDA, you can go anywhere you want on this map at any time, as long as there's no death plane. So what you're going to do is you're going to side flip right here. You're going to open up the PDA as you're at the peak of the side flip. So again, side flip, pause. You're going to hold R1 the entire time. All right? And while you're in this menu, you're going to hold L1 as well. So you're going to exit out of this with triangle. You're going to release L1 and you're going to input a side flip. So it looks like this. You're going to reopen the PDA, triangle, release L1, side flip. And you can just do this over and over and over again. Now, this is a bit complicated. If you're just doing this for the first time, you're going to need to really slow down the inputs. Again, that is side flip, circle, hold R1. You can hold this the whole time. Hold R1, just leave your finger right there. It'll do you a world of good in the long run. Hold L1 while you're in this menu. Triangle, release L1. So you can just practice that motion. Triangle, release. And you can see Ratchet, he was in a free fall state, and then he kind of went into like a grounded crouch almost. Let's see that again. You see that? You see how he was in a crouching animation right there? That means he's grounded, and you can side flip out of that. So side flip, circle, hold L1, triangle, release L1, side flip. See, even I mess them up sometimes. And the more comfortable you get with this, this ideally, even if this is the first piece of movement technology you're learning in Ratchet and Clank, this won't take you too long to learn. It's a bit complicated at first, but then once you get into the rhythm of it, you can just do it over and over and over. Now, why are we doing this? So we need to go all the way over to the Drek fight again in order to activate this skip. You're going to see, and as a matter of fact, you don't have to do anything else to set up this trick for the rest of the time doing it. You've already done all the hard work. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand over here. Again, if this is Ratchet's little hut right here where he works on all his gadgets, you're going to stand right here on this rock. You're going to turn the camera so that you're facing around here. And you're going to begin, these are called PDA side flips for very obvious reasons. You're going to do a bunch of PDA side flips. You don't want to go entirely left because you want to make sure you're building up a ton of height first. So I'm just going to be PDA side flipping here over and over and over. I want to basically get as high as these lower mountains right here. You can kind of see the peaks of them in the center of the screen. You can see like there's a spire. You know, you basically want to be as high as that. But I like to be a little bit higher just for safety. And now at this point, we're going to begin doing something called infinite long jumps. So what you're going to do, you're going to press triangle And you're still going to hold R1 the whole time, as well as L1, just like you did for PDA side flips. But what you're going to do is instead is... Actually, no, I don't think you even have to hold L1. Wait, am I right about that? No, you do have to hold L1. Maybe not like that, though. Maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe you don't have to hold L1 at all. It's so much easier to just do these things without thinking about them than it is to actually think about what inputs you're doing. And any speedrunner who's ever done this sort of stuff can agree with me on that one. So I don't think you actually hold L1. I think I was mistaken when I said that. I don't know what's going on here. Apparently I can't PDA side flip anymore. I'm already washed up. It's been 10 minutes into recording and I'm already washed up. Yeah, so you don't hold R1. That's what it is. So you're gonna hold L1 as you press triangle. You're gonna hold L1 and forward, and you're gonna press square, and you're gonna double jump and then press R1 and X, and then you're gonna do that over and over. Actually, I need to turn myself around here because I'm not going the right way. And these are called ground pound cancels, what I'm doing right here. So I'm doing double jump, let go of the left analog stick, and then R1 or X and then R1. That's a little complicated. So if you just wanted to do double jump R1 and X, I think that's totally fine. You are going to lose a little bit of height, and you're going to want to make sure you're doing a lot more PDA side flips as you're doing this, just to make sure that you can keep going. But again, so that's circle.
Hi there, fuzzball.
You're going to, while you're in this menu, hold L1 forward, and you're going to do triangle and then square. You're not going to do them too close together. If you just go ba-dum, you're just going to fall down a bunch. You want to give a little bit of love to each button. So triangle, square. You know, not trying to go too fast here. It's one of the few times in speedrunning where if you go too fast, you're actually going to do yourself fewer favors. And I'm holding forward the whole time. You can see I'm barely holding the shoulder buttons as well. I'm always holding L1 as I'm entering the PDA, though. That's one thing I'm always doing. So you can see, always holding L1 right here. Wrench swing, double jump, long jump. And look at this. Now, what do we have here? The deplanetizer is standing all the way up. It's standing all the way up. And we're going to enter the final Drek platform. And look at that. No Drek at all. We land right here. Drek is totally gone. He's never going to spawn as long as you don't spawn him at his natural checkpoint at the end of the level where you initially start the fight. But because we never actually activated that checkpoint, we just get to come here and Drek will never ever spawn. So this is what we do in speedruns, obviously. And it's kind of hard to set this up in a casual sense, but like I said, you can always set this up beforehand and just shock your friends. But then all you have to do, so you can see here, I'm going to ground pound the button, and the game is it's over. It's totally over. It's completely ended, and I never had to fight Drek once. So that's how speedrunners do it. That's how we skip the entire final sequence, totally straight up. Now, there's an even faster way of doing this if you want to be a truly quick speedrunner someday. But that strat is extremely complicated, especially for a new player, and I'm not going to get into that. I may make a video about that later on. But for now, I think this is a very good intro-level video. And hopefully this will help you learn a little bit more about what you're doing when you're doing your next playthrough. You know now about the golden pyrocitor strats if you're playing on a European copy of the game or an Australian copy on PS3. Again, that strategy, none of this works if you're playing on a PlayStation 2, just to be clear. And only the pyrocitor strat will work if you're playing, or it will only work if you're playing on a PAL copy of the game. However, regardless of whether you're playing on NTSC or PAL, as long as you're playing on PS3, if you kill Drek before and then reload a file and then come back to on either the same file or a totally different file and do exactly what I showed you, you won't have to fight Drek at all. So I just wanted to also give you all... Oh, wait, hold on. Best part of the cutscene.
Where do you think you're going?
Ugh.
We, still need to fix that arm.
It gives me the feels every time. All right. So I wanted to end this video with a bit of an apology. I have not uploaded a video in about a week and a half, and I don't want that to become a habit. This whole YouTube thing is going very well whenever I actually do put time and energy into it. And we very recently hit 20,000 subscribers as well. I'm going to be real with you all, though. Yeah, I'm still caught in a bit of a depressive episode. I'm doing my best to come out of it. I've also been very preoccupied with a couple of other things. We've been doing Rack Champs over on my stream, and that's been a very, very wildly successful tournament. It's been very time-consuming, and I haven't had the same time that I want to make videos because of that, as well as me trying to get my bearings in life. But it's been great fun, and I can't wait to show you all some of the matches that we upload here on the YouTube channel. Finally, I guess I just wanted to let you all know that I really am also in the process of making huge changes in my life, and that's what's also been eating into my time. As of right now, the huge change is that I have to yell at my landlord to fix my internet because I can't stream at the moment. My internet cuts out every 10 to 20 minutes. But aside from me becoming more assertive and sticking up for myself a bit more, I'm trying to basically just live a life that I think would make me a lot happier, and that includes a lot more discipline, and it includes a lot more of doing things that are that take me away from the internet for balance purposes, to make sure that I'm not losing my mind trying to stream and make content all the time. But I'm also feeling like I've got, you know, I'm going to be honest with you all. I feel like I really only have one or two more chances to really make it big as a streamer. And, you know, maybe that's a bit ridiculous. Maybe that's not the right way to look at it. But I feel like I've been doing this for so long. And my content has always been steadily growing and growing and growing, but it's been growing at a rate that doesn't make me comfortable anymore. I want to try new things. I want to experiment. I want to grow. I want to have sustainability on this channel, you know? I want to be able to retire someday. So I've been doing a lot of soul searching. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot more casual content to mix in with Ratchet and Clank stuff. I'm not 100% sure how I'm doing it all just yet. These are all details we'll discuss at a later time. But I just want to let you all know, at the very least, I'm back to being a regimented content creator. And despite my fears, despite my misgivings, I am trying my absolute hardest. So if you want to do me a favor, if you've made it this far in the video, please feel free to let me know what kind of content you would want to see, both Ratchet and Clank related and otherwise. And thank you so much for being a part of this community to begin with. You're all very wonderful. And I couldn't do what I've done for the past several years without you. So until next time, peace out and have a great rest of your day.